Alright, hi there YouTube, it's me, Morphsuit America, and in this video I'll be talking about 15-star weapons and how to get them. Now, right now, of this recording, there are 3 weapon series that you can get from or select from. And when it comes to getting these weapons, you will be grinding and trying to farm for them. Now, will it be easy or will it be hard? It will depend on the RNG rate for whatever item you will get. I'll go further into details about that later, but understand that when it comes to this video, it's directed more towards new players, people who kind of need help navigating through Zig, or returning players who want to quickly try to get a 15-star weapon. Understand that when it comes to difficulty or which 15-star you want to aim for, it'll depend on when you stop playing the game, what you currently have, or things you should consider here and there. So, before I get started though, if you want to give this game a shot, I already made a video talking about how to install it, how to get translations, and etc, etc. There are going to be a bunch of video links in the description below that will most likely help a lot of new players and returning players, and understand that there's also a video guide that I'm making or redoing when it comes to affixing. So if you want to look at any of that information, it's all in the description. Know that some of these videos aren't out yet because I'm still working on them. I'm still making a bunch of footage, or getting a bunch of footage and then editing it, and that takes a while. And I'm still playing in game as well, so doing both on the same gaming PC is kind of hard for me because I can't really play the game while I'm rendering it. But anyways, getting back on topic, once again, this video is directed more towards new players or old returning players, or anyone who needs help trying to figure out what you need specifically so you can get your first 15 star. If you already know what to do, then this video isn't going to give you as much information, so I don't know what to say. You might want to give the other videos a shot though. Before I get started, I will have time skips in the description below to the specific weapon you may want to look into, or you just want to glance at, because there are only 3 series once again when it comes to the 15 stars that are currently out in 2019 or at the beginning of 2019, and depending on what you have and when you stop playing the game, one of them might be easier to get compared to the other, but it also depends on various other factors. Anyways, when it comes to getting a 15 star, you will be talking to Zig most of the time because he's the guy to go to when it comes to upgrading a lot of your 13 stars into 14 stars and the 14 stars into 15 stars. Now, know that Zig was very important in the past because he started to introduce a bunch of other 13 stars way back then in episode 3 and in episode 4, especially the old type version of the Austere weapon. Now, if you want to look at my old video showcasing how I acquire mine and the grinding process and all that good sort, then you can find it in the description below. But yeah, Zig is your main guy to go to. Now, there is another method of getting a 15 star without actually talking to Zig. However, that is dependent on RNG, and the only way you can actually get this 15 star to drop is if you run the emergency quest Spectre of Destruction on extremely hard. Now, understand that when it comes to the RNG, and by RNG, if you don't understand that terminology, it's pretty much a fancy word of saying the drop rate or random chance of getting a 15 star from the emergency quest is pretty gosh darn low. Understand that depending on what the actual static drop rate is for that particular item, even if you have like a 600% rare drop rate booster, it will not give you, it's not a guarantee that you're gonna get that 15 star. It's going to be very, 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 very low, but you know, if you get it, you get it, congrats on you. But if you don't, then Zig is your main go-to guy to try to get a guaranteed 15 weapon, because you need to farm certain 13 stars so you can upgrade them into their other form, and then you can turn in those 14 stars so you can actually get your 15 star. So Zig, or most definitely when it comes to like this era, or when it comes to the new PSO2, or everything after episode 4-ish of PSO2, the game got a bit easier when it comes to getting most of the high level stuff. Like back then in episode 4 they introduced collection files, 13 star became candy and they were easier to get, and then they also started to introduce 14 stars, and now they're introducing 15 stars, and Yeah. It's not that hard, but you do need to farm a lot, which might consume a lot of your time. Fun little fact, Zig wasn't here in the past, he was actually back there. And a lot of people had to run all the way to the back of the shop area so they can talk to Zig and try to turn in a bunch of stuff to him. Especially when it came to getting your Austere weapon. Now, they decided to move Zig over here most likely due to convenience because, you know, once you get out of the elevators, all you need to do is jump down or walk to him, and he's just right here next to Monica and Ariel. So, the first 15 star I'm going to be talking about will most likely be the Austere. Now, the Austere weapon is pretty straightforward when it comes to upgrading it. Now, if you are an old player from episode 3, specifically in episode 3 and maybe in episode 4, this might be a weapon you can easily get depending on certain factors, which I will explain in a bit. But to find these 15 stars, there's a bunch of tabs here. What you want to do is click on the 15 star weapons. Once you click on that, you get to see a bunch of tabs, but 3 of them are the ones you want to look at. 2 of them are category changes, but you want to ignore that for now. So there's the there's a Celestial option which will upgrade your Celestial weapon into a Lightstream weapon. There is the Atlas series which will upgrade the Atlas 14 star you have into the 15 star variant, which is the Atlas EX. And then there's the Austere series weapon, which is just the new type version of the Austere that we had way back then in episode 3 and entering episode 4, I think. I can't remember when exactly, but a lot of people try to farm for this thing at the end of episode 3. The first 15 star I'm going to talk about is the Austere new types. The reason why I'm going to be talking about this first is because this might be a weapon that a lot of returning players may be able to get. Emphasize on the words maybe, because there are still certain things you still need to farm, especially when it comes to the new type. But you can at least cut corners to try to save you the hassle of trying to find a specific new type weapon of the specific weapon or a specific Austere weapon you have. For example, if you have a fist weapon, you will need to have 3 different types of fist weapons to try to upgrade that old type into a new type. For example, you're going to need the 14 star new type version of the Ares Knuckles, you're going to need the 13 star new type variant of the Slave Knuckles, and then you're also going to need the 13 star variant of the new type Nemesis Knuckles. And to further evaluate on this, let's get right into Zig and showcase what you have to do, or help you guys navigate through all these different tabs, because there's a bunch of things. So if you want to get a 15 star, obviously you're going to have to click on the obtain the 15 star weapon. There are going to be a bunch of tabs here. Ignore the category change for both X series and the Lightstream series. I'll talk about those later, but the main ones you get to go to is the first one, which is the Celestial Xeon series upgrade, the Atlas series upgrade, which is the third one, and then the 5th one is the Austere series upgrades. Now if you click on it, you can view what you need to do to actually try to get your 15 star version of an Austere weapon. I don't know when they added new type invade weapons, but I'm guessing that's through the old Profound Darkness emergency quest, or whatever the heck that thing is called. So if you do have a new type somehow in some way, then this option is more for you, because then all you need to do is plus 35 that new type weapon, and then you're gonna have to get all the other stuff, and then you can upgrade it into an Austere. Now the reason why I say this Austere variant can be easy for a lot of old players is because if you did farm back then in episode 3 or episode 4 and you got your Austere weapon and you still have your old type Austere weapon, you can trade that in as long as you can meet the other requirements too. So instead of trying to get a new type invade weapon, you can use your old type Austere weapon. Now you might be wondering, how do I get these other things? So the reason why I bring up the fact that you could cut corners is because of the other option you can do. So you need to go to the Upgrade Equipment tab, and when you do that, you want to look for both Nemesis and Slave weapons. You will notice that Ares is not an option. Understand that when it comes to the Ares weapons, they are 14 star, meaning that you kind of need a farm for them unless they make it easier later on. So with that being said, the benefit of a 14 star is that one, they will have the max grind value of plus 35. With that being said, that means you do not need to have any dupes to try to get your weapon to plus 35. Not only that, it will give you an element at 60, so you don't need to have dupes to try to increase that element number that it comes with. But once again, the Ares weapon, you cannot upgrade your Ares O type into a new type, sadly, which is kind of dumb in my case because I still got my first 13 star Ares katana, but hey, the game, freaking Sega wants you to do stuff. Alright, so the reason why I say that you can actually manipulate this and cut corners, especially if you farmed during episode 3 when ultimate quests were the go-to places to try and farm and collect stones and get a guaranteed 13 star, is because if you still have those stones and if you farmed a lot, you can actually get the specific things you need so you can upgrade your Austere weapon. So let's say, using my example, I have fist weapons. To get a fist knuckle, or the slave fist weapon new type, I'm gonna need 3 new type weapons. It doesn't matter if it's upgraded or if it's the same weapon type, it just wants 3 new type weapons that are slave types, and then you're gonna need an O type slave fist. Now I'll explain why this is very handy in a bit, because I'm gonna go to another shop. But the same can be said with the Nemesis weapon. If I wanted to get the fist weapon for it, I'm gonna need the O type Nemesis and then 3 new type Nemesis weapon. So the reason why I bring this up is because if you remember way back then, when it comes to getting your 13 stars and farming the ultimate quest and getting a bunch of stones, you can actually go to this girl over here, talk to her, click on the God Stone Exchange, and you can see that you can trade in those Galero, however the freak you pronounce this word, crystals for a Nemesis weapon, and then you can also trade in your other crystals for the slave weapon. Now, I could trade in a decent chunk of my crystals to try to get the fist weapon, or I think I already did that. No, I didn't trade it in yet. But as you can see, I have 250 exactly, so I can get the specific O-type fist weapon. Now the problem is, I'm gonna have to manipulate, or I have to go through the O-type grinding method so I can actually trade in that O-type so it can be automatically plus 35. But the thing is, you had to actually plus 40 the damn weapon again. Meaning that you had to go through O-type grinding, and if you're new to the game and you don't know about O-type grinding, that thing is fucking nasty. And I will most likely tell you guys the difference between O-type grinding and new type grinding, because I'm gonna most likely go through this bull crap again, just so I can try to upgrade my Austere weapon. Ignore my rant. So, the other thing you're gonna need are these crystals, but as you can see, I don't have a lot of them because I didn't farm for this specific type, because they added that in Iberius. I could, if I really want to, I could go solo and try to get those stupid crystals. That's very tricky because if I bump into Mr. Anga, he's gonna whoop my ass. And if you guys don't know about Anga, he's the worst boss you want to fight against, especially if you are playing solo, because he will start nerfing the fuck out of you. Anyways, let's get back on topic. So, pretty much, once you get those weapons, you will be able to try to get your 15 star. But once again, the Ares one, you cannot get right off the bat. You cannot upgrade your old type into a new type. You have to farm for it. And the limited quest that's going on right now, the oh god, I can't pronounce that word for the life of me. Reverie of Darkness. Okay, yeah. Go ahead, make fun of me. Go ahead and do that. But pretty much, when it comes to that specific limited quest, and most likely I have a video link to it because I just butchered the name of it. That unlimited quest can drop an Ares type. Now, will it give you the specific weapon you need? No, it will not, because it's RNG unless you're really lucky, and then congrats on you for getting the thing you need. But yeah, once you have everything, you can turn it in, and then it's gonna have a screen where it's gonna ask you what weapon you want, what weapon element you want to carry over along with all of the abilities and some other things. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, I'm gonna point to another video of mine where I actually upgraded a bunch of my 13 stars to 14 stars so I can actually get my 15 star katana that I'm using right now. But pretty much that's it. If you have the units for the old Austere uh, type, the 11 star, you can easily upgrade this into 11 star. All you need to do is make sure it's unlocked, it's in your inventory, and then you can trade it in, and boom, bada bing, you got your 12 star version uh, of this set. Now, when it comes to this set in particular, I'm gonna go into more details, maybe talking about stuff when it comes to 12 stars. But understand that when it comes to this 12 star set, you do need to have all three pieces to get good stats and good bonuses off of it. Unlike all of the other 12 star weapons where you can mix and match and get certain stats for wearing a certain piece, this one you need all three pieces for them. So just leave that in the back of your mind if you actually have these things. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Austere. The next 15 star I'm going to talk about will be the Lightstream weapons. Granted that if you're a new player, or let's say you are a returning player but you never actually farmed Ultimate Quest, or you don't have a lot of pieces and you don't want to bother upgrading your old Austere weapon, then most likely you want to aim for Celestial. Most likely, because that is the main emergency quest that's going on right now, or the main emergency quest that keeps on popping up will give you the materials and parts you need so you can upgrade into a Lightstream. Compared to the Atlas. Atlas, I think it was more heavy on the Red Dragon stuff and some other things that popped up way back then or in 2018. But I didn't even do it, so I can't say if the Atlas is easier to get. There are certain factors, once again, to getting all of these. But once again, stressing this out, I think Lightstream is kind of the easiest to go to because of various factors. One of them being the 2019 metal shop that is going on right now. It has all of the materials you need to upgrade your 13 star into a 14 star. The hard part about trying to upgrade the 14 star into a 15 star is this stone right here. Now there are at least two ways to get this stone. One of them being the title that you can get. So with the title, once you kill the persona boss, or if you run Spectral Destruction on extremely hard 50 times, you're gonna get a title, and the reward will be this stone. Once you get this stone, you can actually upgrade your 14 star or your Celestial into a Lightstream weapon. Now, the other method to getting this stone is to do the trigger quest for it. However, the trigger quest for this emergency quest, to get it is going to be dropped through the emergency quest itself, and it's random chance. So you might get it, you might not. And I don't know how bad the drop rate is, but knowing Sega, it's pretty goddamn low. So if you're lucky enough to get your hands on it, good on you. But the other problem is, even if you run that trigger quest, know that the stone is also RNG, or it is random. So you might not get it to drop. If you get it to drop, congrats on you. You can get a second Lightstream weapon, or try to aim for a second Lightstream weapon. Other than that, though, looking at it, you might be asking, okay, how do I make a Celestial weapon then? So going back over here in the beginning tabs, you want to click on Upgrade Weapon. When you do that, you want to click on the Profound Xeon series upgrades. This will allow you to upgrade your Profound weapon into the Celestial, which you then can use to upgrade it into your 15 star. Now, here's the thing. When you're trying to get that stone, or that title to get your 50 run stone, you will be able to get a bunch of these stones as well. It'll stack, and it'll build up as you try to aim for that 50 kill title. Everything else, though, it might be a bit difficult, but as you can see, it's not very specific. Unlike the Austere, where it tells you you need to get the specific weapon type. So if I'm trying to get a sword, all of the materials need to be sword types. No. For this one, it requires you to at least have a weapon of some sort of this series. So you're going to need one detonation weapon series at plus 35, a Claudum weapon at plus 35, a Lure weapon at plus 35, Clara weapon at plus 35, and then 150 stones, and then your Profound weapon at plus 35. Now, if you cannot get a Profound weapon to drop in the emergency quest, you can obtain the Profound weapon over here. It only costs 15 stones. The bad part about this method is the fact that the grind value is at 30. I will talk about new type weapons and why looking at the grind value is very important, especially the max number that's within the parentheses. But for now, I'm not going to go into details about that. But if you do use this method, understand that you might need to buy 5 more of these things. So in total, you're going to be buying 6 Profound weapons, which means this is going to stack up to, I think, you might be using up to 90 stones, if I'm doing my math right. 6, yeah, at least 90 stones, which you might want to avoid. So if you can get a Profound weapon to drop through the emergency quest, that'll save you up on stones, especially if it has a higher grind value than the default 30. But with that being said, let me go over here to the 2019 shop and showcase this. If you talk to this chick over here, click on the... No, not the first one. First one you don't want to go to. The second one you want to go to, the Omega Dark Foul series weapon. You can see that you can also buy these specific series type. And once again, the problem is that the grind value is at max 30. So what you would most likely want to do is spam limited quests, get a better grind value, and then go over there and buy however many copies you need so you can get it to plus 35. Know that the collection file is also available, but I'll say go to the limited quest instead and get the medals, because doing the collection files is going to be a pain in the butt in a way, because you're going to have to find specific enemy types. But with that being said, that concludes how to get your Lightstream 15-star weapon, or the process of getting to it. The last 15-star weapon you can aim for is the Atlas series upgrades. Now for this one you need 2 14 stars, the Lemire and the Atlas, and then you're gonna need 400 X cubes. Pretty simple, right? Wrong. Depending on the limited quest and depending on the materials, you're gonna have to do a couple of manipulations here and there. Now I do need to talk about category change later, right after I talk about how to get your Atlas series weapon, because when it comes to category change, they will help you out in a certain way, especially when it comes to trying to get that specific 15-star you need. Or you need to change up some stuff and then you can make it into 15-star, then you can change it again. So, getting back on topic, so the Eerie series, Atlas series weapon requires you to trade in a Lemire and Atlas. So when it comes to the Lemire, you need to go over here to the upgrade equipment and click on the Justice series upgrades. Now to get a Lemire, you're gonna need the Justice weapon, a Golem series weapon, and then this Caval weapon. Now when it comes to this Caval, you actually need the Elada series upgrades. And I already showcased this in my... I already showcased everything in my personal video when I actually got this 15-star, the Atlas EX Katana 15-star. So go ahead and check that out if you want an actual visual representation of me turning in everything so I can get this 15-star. But pretty much, to even get this weapon, the Elvidal, you're going to need to do the collection files that is available right now. I'm going to have a separate screen pop up, and it'll show you that you have to talk to Pudding so you can get the collection file. I'll talk more in depth about collection files if you are new to the game or if you're returning to the game, because there are some things you do need to consider, or some things you do need to pay attention to when you stare at these collection files. But once you actually have your Elvidal weapon, what you want to do with that weapon is try to get it to plus 35, because once you upgrade, or once you come over here and get this upgraded into a Cleasis, however you pronounce this, it will be at whatever grind value it is. So if you didn't really upgrade it to plus 35, let's say you have it at plus 30, it's going to be a pain in the butt to actually get this version of the weapon to plus 35, because you're going to need 5 more copies of this, because the max grind value is at 30. So yeah, make sure you actually get the standard thing before you actually upgrade it to plus 35, because once it's at plus 35, it will carry that grind value, and it will also carry the element value and also the affixes it has. But once you upgrade the overall into this weapon, you're gonna have to upgrade it into the Scaval. Once you upgrade it to the Scaval, you are set. Once again, taking the same concept, you want to make sure that the Cleasis, however you pronounce that previous weapon type, is at plus 35, because you don't want to actually spend a lot of boosters trying to get your weapon from 30 to 35. You're going to be eating at least 300 of these boosters. No, be smart about this. But once you complete that, you get at least one of the 13 stars you need, so you can upgrade the weapon into a Lemire. The second one you're going to need is the Golem and Justice. Actually, these two kind of drop in the same area, but right now the limited quest that is going on, it can also drop these two. Actually, no, excuse me. It does not drop the Justice, so it can drop the Golem series weapon. To get the upgraded version of whatever the second item is, all you need to do is go over to the Demon series upgrade, and then go over here and turn in at least whatever you're trying to upgrade, and then 50 Demon Fossil Chaos Stones. Understand that, once again, you want to make sure that whatever is the prior equipment, let's say you have this Savage Cavalier, make it to plus 35 before you turn it in, because if you have this at plus 30, then you're going to have to get 5 more copies of this, because they don't drop in, these specific versions do not drop in limited quests, or I don't think they drop in general, so you're making too much work for yourself. So make sure you get the Savage version to plus 35 before you upgrade it, and that can be set to whatever the first version is. But once you have your upgraded version of this weapon, all you need now is to have the Justice weapon. Now, Justice weapon, they did drop in a former limited quest, but that isn't active right now, so it's going to be harder to try to get this. The only other method to get a Justice weapon is if you spam extremely hard Enchanted Forest. And Enchanted Forest is a free field that you can get. So the problem with that is it's dead, or not a lot of people run it. So getting this might be an issue. Now the other 14 star you need is the 14 star Atlas version, and to do that all you need to do is go to the Val series upgrades, and you're gonna see this stone here, and you get to see a bunch of materials you're gonna need to get as well. These two materials you can get from desynthesizing 12 stars and 13 star weapons. Understand that depending on what it is specifically, let's say if it's a melee or S attack weapon, it's going to give you these two compared to like a ranged weapon, which you had to actually get these things. Actually no, the last item is still the same, it's just that the second item is going to change depending on what it is, as you can see here. But you might be wondering, how the heck do I get this stone? Now the stone, you can get a free one if you haven't got it already. If you plus 30, if it's your first time plus 35ing a Val weapon, all you need to do is go to the title counter and pick the title up, and you get the stone as a reward. Now when it comes to getting the Val weapons, there is a huge shortcut to getting them. One, you could technically farm them through limited quests or through a lot of quests, they drop like candy. But you could also buy them. Now, here's the title counter attendant. They moved her from the Klaus counter to here just to make it convenient, I guess. But when it comes to buying the Val weapons, all you need to do is go over here to the shop and then type in whatever Val weapon you are trying to look for. Let's say you're looking for the gun stash. You type in the name of it, boom, you can actually buy this 13 star. So plan accordingly. I already talked about this when I actually got my 15 star, but if you have certain materials for one thing, let's say you have a bunch of materials for the gun slash upgrades, make sure you upgrade it fully make sure you upgrade it with whatever you have into the 14 star versions, and then once you have everything, then try to get that 15 star version and then convert it. And that's going to go to my next point in a bit. And that's it when it comes to the Atlas series weapons. So all you need to do is 400 XQs Lemire Atlas. You're gonna have to go over to these tabs to the upgrade weapons. For the Justice, you're gonna click on the for the Lemire, you're gonna click on the Justice tab to bring you here. You're gonna be toying around with the Demon series upgrade, and then these two upgrades down here. And then once you have that, you're gonna have to go to the Val series and then upgrade your Val and then get the 14 star. And then pretty much you're set, as long as you have the right materials. The next thing I'll talk about, it's not towards how to get these weapons, but it's more on how you can use this change weapon category. Because if you're trying to get a specific 15 star, you might need to manipulate certain factors, or you might manipulate the materials you have so it can suit to your style. Once again, if you look at my video talking about how I got my Atlas, it kind of showcase how I got my 15 star katana without actually having the materials I needed to get that katana. And to even emphasize on my point still, I do have a Celestial gun slash on me. Yes, a Celestial gun slash. Now, I didn't make this from a profound one. It dropped me a 14 star gun slash. And as you can see here, it's a 6 star, and 6 slot, and it already has like an element of 60, and I already grinded to plus 35. And I already have the stone, so what I could technically do is, if I take this off of me, or better yet, if I unlock this, talk to Zig, go to the 15 star, click on Celestial, go all the way down here to the gun slash, click on it, exchange, do this, I could get my Lightstream version of a gun slash. Now, obviously, this is not a weapon that I want to keep as a gun slash. However, the reason why I'm going to be talking about change weapon category is because if you don't like whatever you make as a 15 star, let's say you have the gun slash, you could trade it in so you can get a specific weapon that will suit to your playstyle. It will carry everything over, so it's going to carry the grind value, it's going to carry your element, the special abilities on it, the photon colors, and the owner registration. Just know that you do need to get the materials for these things, so you're going to need to get these gold materials. And to get these gold materials, there are various ways to do so. Once again, I think I already briefly mentioned it, but you want to desynthesize 12 star weapons and 13 star weapons. But there's also another way to do this. If you go to the recycle shop, not the recycle shop through here, you had to actually walk to the recycle shop in the back. If you go to them and click on the crafting exchange one shop, you will see a bunch of other materials you can turn in so you can get these specific materials you need so you can upgrade into a 15 star. That will be ultimately up to you on how you acquire these materials. You could buy them, but if you desynthesize a bunch of old 7 star, 8 stars, 9 stars, and you have a bunch of those materials that you can turn in to easily get these materials you need to, so you can upgrade your 15 star or change your 15 star, then go ahead and do that. But yeah, now there is some other things you can do. This isn't directed more towards the 15 stars and changing them. This is directed more towards the 14 stars and changing them. Now the reason why I say this, okay, that's still the same thing. I don't know why they put certain things in the same freaking tab area. They really need to dumb this down. So, what did I click on? Change weapon categories. So, when you click on change weapon categories, you'll see that you can also change two particular 14 stars. The Ares new type series and the Atlas series. The reason why you may want to change the Atlas series one is because of either the S4 ability you can get from them, or the fact that you might need to swap the whatever upgraded version of the Atlas into something that will match your Lemire or the materials you might have so you can make the Lemire, and then you might as well change this so you can easily get a 15 star then change it back into whatever you need it to be. Not only that, once again, there is a change tab for the Ares new type, and the reason why you want to sort of take advantage of this is because let's say you got an Ares dual saber to drop and you have an Austere old type fist weapon that you're trying to upgrade. So what you can do is take that new type Ares weapon and swap it for you can swap it for the fist weapon over here. And all you need to do is make sure that you have the materials for it. It is costly thinking about it if you do a lot of swapping here and there, but it's definitely worth it, and it saves you a good chunk of farming because you don't really want to farm a lot in this game. That concludes this video about how to get your 15 star. Now, I think I covered most of the important aspects of it. If you do have a question or concern, hopefully I can help you out, or someone might see it and they can also jump in and help me out, or help whoever has a question out in the comments. But yeah, what are your thoughts about these new 15 stars? Do you like them? Do you dislike them? Do you like how Sega's making a bunch of high rarity weapons easier to get now compared to back in the days in episode 2? Well, 12 stars were fucking hard as hell to get, along with like 13 stars, but 12 stars were just hard until they had to change the drop rates for them. Because let's just say even when 13 stars were introduced back then in episode 3, 12 stars were still a pain in the ass to get. So yeah, what are your thoughts, and what are you guys trying to get? Are you trying to get the Lightstream weapon first? Are you trying to upgrade your Austere weapon? Are you trying to get all of them? Let me know in the comments. How far are you into getting your 15 star? Already got, well, technically I can get 2 15 stars because like I showed you guys, I have my Celestial ready. It's just that I'm trying to figure out if I really want to upgrade it right now, or try to upslot it first and then upgrade it, because as you can see it's a 6 slot. Don't get me wrong, 6 slot is fine, but with the fact that you can put 3 S1, S2, S3 abilities nowadays, you kind of want to push it to the max amount of slots, which is 8 slot. That's what I did with the katana, and I did a lot of manipulation when it came to the katana, easy manipulation, and as you can see, it looks beautiful. But anyways, yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And that's it. I'll see you guys around. Peace.